Welcome on into the barbershop. It's your boy G Bush. Saturday morning, we back at it again. We about to rock and roll. We got some stuff that we got to get into. Big news from all around the game. Big time news from all around the game. We had the pro day that we've been waiting for. We got Travis Hunter. We got Shedeur Sanders. Cleveland Browns brass was all in the mix. They was everywhere. They brought the whole family. Jimmy, the grandchildren, the nurses, the doctors, the accountant, the lawyers. Everybody was out in Colorado watching the pro day, and we took that in as well. Mary Kay Capper was out there. She had a little report talking about what was going on with that situation as well. We're going to break all of this down for you. We would usually get to the Cavs. They're rocking and rolling. They will make the playoffs. We would talk about the Guardians opening day happen, but guess what? We're not doing that right now. We're going to get a very special episode today. What we're going to do, this is going to be very intensive on your questions right now. This is going to be very intensive on what you guys want to get into, because right now, I've said it on Twitter. I do not know today who the Cleveland Browns are taking. I have no clue who the Cleveland Browns are taking, and I think nobody in the media knows either. We will ask you the questions, the fans, the viewers, the people in the barbershop. Come on in, sit down. We're gonna put a nice little bow on this thing, and I got the receipts too. This is an important episode for all y'all people out there running around talking about. I want y'all to tune in with your thinking caps. I'm just trying to show you about critical thinking. This is a critical thinking exercise here today. I don't want no people, if you didn't pass your ACTs, if you didn't pay attention to math in high school, I don't want you in the chat today. I only want people that aspire to learn something and to be critical thinkers when people tell you something. We'll come back and do it. It's G Bush right here on the barbershop. We are off and running on a Saturday morning. You know what it is, your boy G Bush. Draft coverage. So let me start by saying this. I got the receipts. I wasn't even going to do this today. As a matter of fact, I spent some extra time going to get my receipts together. It takes a long time to gather these receipts. There's been a couple of things that I want to debunk here on the barbershop, because I've been hearing this type rhetoric for years now. And it does not have to do with one specific quarterback. I have a theory. There is a whole industry propped up off of NFL draft coverage. There's a whole industry propped up. People make a living talking about prospects. And the NFL has done such a magnificent job of making sure that its league is projected in the best way possible. They've done such a great job in making the league very interesting from point A to point B to point C. It's 365 now. And the draft coverage in the NFL is by far the best ever anywhere. I'm not going to take that away from them. But also at the same time, what we got to start doing is we have to actually start thinking about whether or not what they're saying is actually accurate. I contest, and my thesis statement for today, boys and girls, is there is no news that comes from the combine. There is no news and rumors. There's none of that. This is a completely made up, fictional economy. It's a made up process. I've seen some of my brethren in the media. I saw Bruce Drennan the other day. He's one of the dudes, one of the reasons I actually do this. I give him all the props in the world. All bets are off. I used to watch it every day. He came out with the news with Dak Prescott going to the Browns. I said, bro, this is what we doing? This is where we come. Nobody in their good mind that actually knows the game and actually knows what it is would say that was even valid, because they would know the salary cap wouldn't allow it. They would know where the Browns cap situation is. They would understand that Dak Prescott had a no trade clause. But guess what? We don't care about that. Nobody cares about none of that. It's all about, can I get in front of some eyeballs? Can I get in front of the people? And in this media, in this industry, what you got to do is you have to double down. You've got to triple down. You better have something exciting to say. You better be doing something, or you're not going to get shown like that. I'm going to just keep it real with you. Keep it a buck. You're not going to be getting shown like that. So I go and watch the draft coverage, right? I'm watching the pro day, and I thought Shedeur Sanders looked good. I thought Travis Hunter looked good. Travis Hunter wasn't even out there doing that. And I thought Travis Hunter was out there just, flexing on dudes. Like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. And one of the things that got me as I sat here and we talked about it, and I looked at it was, I'm looking at looking at the throws and I'm seeing people nitpick. Yeah, he's patting the ball, give it away a little bit. Every time he passes the ball, it's just like, that's a tell. DBs are going to jump that. And I'm like, man, listen, all cap. I had to go on the internet. If you don't like to, check my tweets out. If you're on Twitter right now, check the tweet out. Quarterback coach, I got to look this stuff up. And this is my problem. I'm the only one looking it up. Instead of these dudes looking this stuff up and bringing it to the table, they just run with it. So here's what we're going to do. Shedeur Sanders threw the ball. He threw the ball well. I got a bunch of tape on Shedeur Sanders. I've seen it. I've seen him do it at HBCU level, and I've seen him do it at a Division I level in Colorado. I've seen Travis Hunter dominate at every level. He was the number one recruit in the country. What are you talking about? I've seen him do it. I got the tape. Here's the problem. When they try to convince you who's actually a first-round pick, who's actually good, who's actually doing their thing, how good a draft class is, it's all cap. You say, dang, G. Bush, come on, man. I need the receipts. You've been talking too long. All right, let's get to these receipts. Now, remind you, this is what they say about this draft class. There's nobody in it. They've even nitpicked Travis Hunter to a point where he's a regular wide receiver and a regular defensive back. We talked about Shedeur Sanders. Oh, he's not a first-round pick. He's a second-round pick. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what Mr. McShay says. And I want you to listen as we go through this process. And you see if you find the veil, right? I'm going to see you find the little veil. This is what they say about Shedeur Sanders and why he isn't what he is.
Have you heard of this thing about the character? And then they just start going from there. And start out like, what do you think on this guy? I'm struggling with this guy. Have you heard of this thing about the character? And then they just start going from there. And then usually the questions I get back, what are you hearing? What are you hearing at 3? What are you hearing at 2? I'm hearing this. And then, I'm hearing this. And so it's just, they're organic conversations. But the thing that always happens during these conversations is that you apply football logic to things. And the conversations I'm having continue to surround this subject. You got a certain grade on Travis Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a certain grade on Abdul Carter. That certain grade, just by everyone's account, even when Tennessee came out in the beginning, we said 4 guys, the position, 2 position players that were mentioned in there were Abdul and Travis. You read everything, you hear all the quotes. It's Travis and Abdul and Travis. Well, if Cam Ward goes number 1 and you're sitting there 2 and 3 and you have a quarterback need, you better have a damn high grade on Shedeur, or else football logic tells you just take one of these blue players.
You see, I want you to keep in mind, you notice what he just said right there. If you have a certain grade on somebody, you better have a high grade, or football logic tells you that you just take somebody else. I need you to tuck that away, write that down in the annals, and we'll get back to that. And I'll show you how fraudulent people be.
Right.
Blue guys are guys you think can be perennial Pro Bowl type players. That's kind of the description. They're stars. They're difference makers, right?
Right.
And
do you think
Go ahead.
Do you think you're a Shedeur Sanders away from being a Super Bowl contender if you're one of those teams? I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Like, you have to believe in him that much. You have to believe that he can win Super Bowls for you to take him over. It can't be, we're just going to get a little bit better in the quarterback room here. That can't be the move.
Hey, also, watch the rhetoric. Watch how concrete people be. Watch the tone. Watch the pace. It just can't be, he's going to make you a little bit better. That can't be what we're doing here. Watch the tone, how it be switching, bro.
You know what I mean? It can't.
Yeah.
It can't be like we have a need, so we're going to get a little bit better here. That's not what you use those picks for. That's not how those are used.
That's not
And
how
I
we do
usually,
this.
these conversations we have, I come in kind of hot. Like I'm hearing Shedeur could go 3, or the Giants could do, and what, and people, and I'm getting kind of like, would you take him? What was the messaging in October and November and December? You tell me. What was Prime's? What was the messaging coming out of Shedeur's camp?
About where they're going to control where they go.
Exactly.
And he's not going to go. Yeah. Okay.
Tell me.
Bit of a roller coaster.
Oh, see, now we get it. See, if you let somebody talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. Watch the tone. What was the rhetoric coming from Prime? During October and November. What was it? Y'all be telling on yourself. It ain't about whether Shedeur can play. You just don't like the way Prime operate. And how dare he say to us, he's not going to play for certain teams. Come on, bro. Y'all's poker face is horrible. But what they do is they don't attack the person directly all the time. See, what they do is they make the game muddy. They'll say, instead of saying Shedeur Sanders is garbage, trash, whatever, they're not going to get inflammatory like that. But it's a slight misdirection. They say, this class isn't all this is cracked up to be. This class just doesn't have the high-end talent. This class is just, I'm not saying anything against Shedeur. It's just the class. Y'all not slick. I got the receipts. Let's keep going.
Paraphrase. When October, November, December, what was the messaging coming? Just paraphrase it for me.
You see that tone?
From Coach Prime, it was, my son's not going to play just anywhere. We're going to put him in a good situation to win. And basically it was like, don't try me. I mean, that's what I am paraphrasing, but basically he was like, don't try me. Don't draft them. If you don't, if we tell you not to draft them, don't draft them.
Right. And so, and then I go to the combine. We go to the combine. And I have a couple conversations, and I've made it perfectly clear. I'll never reveal who they were with.
Okay, and that's another thing. People be talking about, listen, here's what I'm about to start doing. Just so y'all know, you tell me if this is valid or not. This is the game we play. In that case, here's how I'm going to move from now on. G. Bush has sources. I'm never going to tell you who those sources are. And my sources say that Shedeur Sanders is going number 1 overall. You know why they said that? See, this is funny. I know people in the media don't reveal their sources, and that's just how it goes. But let me just show you how easy it is. It's so easy a caveman can do it. And anytime I got a problem, I could get sources tomorrow. What you gonna tell me? I've been in the game 15, 20 years. You say I'm lying? But watch, he done brought these sources up a couple of times. You see how this narrative was moving? Keep going.
They were with individuals who were in the interview room, that were in the teams that were drafting in the top 10 that had quarterback needs. And paraphrasing this as well, just didn't get the sense that Shedeur cared all that much about what we thought of him. Wasn't like that. Wasn't that kind of meeting. Wasn't disrespectful. Nothing was said. Wouldn't even classify it as arrogance. Would classify it as just as different than all the other interviews we do, where
not anything different. It's just doesn't really fit the way everybody else just does. Though I'm telling you, y'all better start looking at this body language. This look bad, bro. Like, what are you saying? Like, all these pauses, and I'm just trying to figure out the way to say it, but not say, come on, stand on business. I know what you want to say, and we got that too coming up. Let's
feels
roll.
like a job interview.
Going through the
at
motions,
stake.
maybe.
Yeah, just, hey, here, having fun. What's up? How we
Nice
doing?
to meet you. Yeah.
Yep. So we got all of that pre-combine, then the combine, the conversations that I had at the combine with those individuals. And it's like, what did I say coming out? I was like, they must know, because it wouldn't be very smart to start reducing that pool.
I love it. I love it. See, nobody else gonna break that down for you like that, bro. I don't care who you are, bro. When you are watching this stuff, understand the natural bias that creeps in to the whole diaspora. When you can see his tone change when you say prime. You can just see the tone like, see, a lot of people don't like the fact that prime talks his talk. Shedeur Sanders walks his walk. They want you to shut up and take what they give you. This ain't got nothing to do with whether Shedeur going to be a ball player or not. Because as I'm going to show you, the evaluation that he has on Shedeur Sanders and the evaluation that he had on busts and down the liners and bums has been way more hands off. Notice when we get to these other evaluations, how there's no extra in the game. There's no, hey, what did he say in this? I talked to these people and I talked to, like, there's none of this. Watch these evaluations. And what I want you to understand is when you're watching TV and these dudes are giving you these whole rhetorics and all this other good stuff, and they breaking it down like they honest dealers, they are not honest dealers. Everybody that get in front of that mic got an agenda. Every single one of them. I'm just letting you know. Let's continue to work on. Now, mind you, this is what he said about Shedeur Sanders. Let me ask you something. Let me get to this one. If he said that about Shedeur Sanders, then what? How does he say this about this dude?
Overtime win, and then BYU lost the next week to Washington. In 2019, you were in Provo for the USC overtime win, and then BYU lost the next week to Washington as the sideline reporter. What have you seen since seeing him in person to now? Because there's been a tremendous leap.
There has been. And listen, you guys know just as well as I do, he's always had the talent. It was just a matter of developing and staying healthy. You know, he had the shoulder injury and the hand injury. And this past year he comes in and obviously COVID and everything going on. And it really,
I mean, damn, Todd, how many excuses you got for this man out the gates? You know, he stubbed his big toe. He didn't get to eat breakfast this morning. His dog ate his homework. He just grew up and his third cousin, had a chest congestion problem. That's just all. He came out the gate. Anytime you come out the gates with somebody saying all this the first time, you got to be like, wow, bro, you must like this guy.
really unique year. And he just played lights out. And you can listen, if you want to pick holes in him, you can say that the competition wasn't great. And I get that. It's not like playing, if you're Mac Jones from Alabama, it's not like playing in the SEC. It's not like playing the Big Ten schedule if you're Justin Fields from Ohio State or even Clemson. But I just watch him in terms of his ability to extend plays, his feel in the pocket, and then his ability to throw off platform. And it reminds me, I hate throwing the Patrick Mahomes thing on him because it's almost like.
This dude told you Zach freaking Wilson reminded him of Patrick Mahomes? This is the blasphemy we got to get to. This is blasphemous. This is he comes out and goes right to rubbing Zach Wilson's shoulders. He played at BYU. Zach Wilson may be the biggest colossal bust we've seen ever. But this was his commentary. And when I talk about this, where is the checks and balances with this? Listen, no disrespect, but if you say Zach Wilson is on the same level as Patrick Mahomes and reminiscing of that, I don't know how I could take your word. I don't know how I can, because the consistency ain't there. You see the tone in his voice? Why the tone different? Where's all the stories that you heard from somebody else? Why is it different?
Curse to say that he's going to be the next Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying that, but he's got a little bit of that in him. And he's got a little bit of Drew Brees in him as well in terms of being sudden and knowing that he's not the tallest quarterback in the world and that he's got to change his arm angles and he's got to find his own passing windows. And he does a lot of that on tape. I love his ability to throw, as I said, off platform when he's on the move. I think it was play 6 of the Boise State game, the 6th offensive play for BYU in that game.
How is it that you can remember the plays you like from Zach Wilson, but all you can remember is what 2 nondescript scouts who ain't the general manager or the coach said in a meeting behind closed doors about Shedeur Sanders? How you remember that, but Where's the description on Shedeur Sanders and what throw you didn't like, or what read he missed, or when did he make when did his arm was not strong enough? See, this is the thing. You got to make these people say what they're going to say. When it comes to certain people, it's vagueness. When it comes to certain people, it's concrete. Look at the tone at both of which they speak. I'm just saying, the receipts is here. Get ready for the comments. You got a super chat ready? We're going to get to it. I'm confused why this energy is here.
He rolls out to the left, and he's off balance, and he's got to turn his hips and throw the ball, and he hits an out route about 15 yards down the field, and the ball is right where it has to be. Perfect placement.
Look at these regular ass throws. Look at these regular throws.
League is guys that if the initial play breaks down, can you extend? Especially when you're young and you don't have all the answers mentally in terms of what defenses are throwing at you.
What's the lowest you can possibly see Zach?
Now, mind you, he said Shedeur Sanders is not a first-round pick. He got a second-round grade on him. Listen what he told you about Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson dropping in this 2021 NFL draft.
Jeez. I want to say 2. Because I've kind of staked my claim on it. But I would say, I mean, the lowest would be 8 to Carolina. You know, you've got Atlanta picking at 4, Carolina at 8, San Francisco at 12, New England at 15. All of these teams need a quarterback. So, and we've seen every single year, almost every single year that I've done the draft, at least one team and usually multiple teams move up to go get quarterbacks. So,
Whoa. Remember I told you to write something down. Remember in the first clip we sat there and talked about it? When they said, if you don't got a grade high enough on Shedeur Sanders, we're not doing this. We're just because you got a quarterback and you have a need. We're not using high first round picks on guys who are just going to make us a little better. We're not doing that. Remember that? But now all of a sudden when the receipts come out, you say, oh, they do that every year. If you need a quarterback, you go up and get one. They be moving these goalposts back and forth like it's U-Haul.
So if Atlanta really wants to go get the heir apparent to Matt Ryan, they're going to probably move up a spot or 2, or they're going to be set on Trey Lance from North Dakota State. Carolina is desperate for a quarterback, so they're going to. I'll be shocked if they don't move up on draft day.
So if you need a quarterback, he's advocating moving all over the board to get him no matter where, except for this year. I wonder why. I'm done looking at this clip. We want to get out of here. I'm done with this clip. If you're pulling up right now, we got the receipt. 711 people in here all over wherever you at. Hit that like button, bro. Hit that like button. We cooking. When we get back, I want to get this out the way. Then we're going to get to y'all so we can talk. But I got to get this whole thing out in the whole totality. For me, this stuff is just wild to me because the bias is just sitting right all in front of your face. And my problem with the people is, why don't y'all question this stuff? Why don't y'all say, well, is that really true? How is it that Zach Wilson got that glowing endorsement and he played in a weak conference? He's short. He don't have a crazy arm. And he done played for about 7 teams in the league so far. And by the way, this is also the group of individuals that said, your boy, what's his name? Just won the Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts. He'll never lead nobody to a championship. That's already doing it, but I did that already. We on all new receipts. Let's keep this thing rolling. He ain't the only fool in the game. Listen to this fool. Look at this dude done made a boatload of money out of doing this same old 2-step. Now, mind you, if Shedeur Sanders is not a first-round pick, how is this guy a first-round pick?
Him going in your first round at the end of the first. Going in your first round at the end of the first round. Take us through why you believe that.
I think anytime you have a quarterback who's 6'5" and has the athleticism that Daniel Jones does and a good enough arm that's going to get stronger and played at Duke where the offensive line didn't have support.
Stop that. Rewind that. This dude done pulled out something I've never heard in my life. I done unplugged my headphones. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. Let me put this back in. I got excited. This dude done said something I've never, you put it in the chat. If you've ever put a 1, if this is the first time you've ever heard this spoken anywhere. This man, Mel Kiper, said he got he got an average arm, but it's about to get stronger. What? Who he act like this dude is 13 years old and he ain't hit puberty yet, and he gonna get a couple inches in velocity on his football. This is a grown-ass man. Where in what universe does a person have an average arm and then it gets stronger? He threw that in there so smooth. I'm gonna rewind it so you can hear. You tell me this is one of the greatest Jedi mind tricks I've ever heard, Mel. You tell me if that's right. I'm gonna rewind this. Shoot.
Going in your first round, at the end of the first round, take us through why you believe that.
I think anytime you have a quarterback who's 6'5" and has the athleticism that Daniel Jones does and a good enough arm that's going to get stronger, and played at Duke where the offensive line didn't always support him, the receivers would drop passes, and he was able to run for 186 yards in one game against North Carolina and make pinpoint accurate throws against some pretty good teams, hang in there even when his team was physically dominated, light up Temple, be the MVP.
You hear this man? Now listen, they give him credit. They give him credit for playing at a worse school in Duke. He stood in there, he hangs in there, hangs in the pocket, throws the ball. He's getting his brains beat in. He's being accurate. He dominated Temple. You dominated Temple. You dominated Temple, Mel. This is the. I'm telling you, it be right in front of your face. Daniel Jones wasn't good. He ain't never been good, and he ain't never gonna be good. But the problem is the way they cover it. You see, don't be disillusioned. What he's saying can sway some people. If you are in that building, you're like, well, I mean, Daniel Jones, I got a certain grade on him, but let me go back and look at him because, I mean, people are saying he moving. People say, come on, man. Daniel Jones? So he a first-round pick, but Shedeur ain't.
Of the Senior Bowl game, and have David Cutcliffe mentoring him and coaching him in that system where you think, okay, he's going to come in with an understanding. He's a competitive kid with a willingness to learn. The key is going to be the arm, as it has been with Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, getting stronger once he's in the league. If it all comes together for Daniel Jones, I think 2, 3, 4 years down the road, he will be a very successful starting.
I ain't never heard that in my life. I didn't know Drew Brees' arm got stronger as he played. No, I thought his arm got weaker because he had surgery. The same arm that the man can't lift up above his shoulder. Peyton Manning's arm got somehow stronger. Where is this information coming from? Did you just make that up? I'm telling y'all. I'm letting you know. All I'm doing is holding the mirror up. I'm not trying to convince you that Shedeur Sanders is going to be a great quarterback. I'm not trying to convince you this is who the Cleveland Browns should take. I'm not trying to convince you of some like he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. What I'm trying to show you is when you are listening to this stuff, think critically. Think on your own, because some of the stuff these guys are saying has nothing to do with the actual going on the football field. Now, this next one right here, and we're working our way to something. Hold me down. We're working our way to something. This is the most damning. I think it's the second most damning piece of information. Now, remember they talk about how weak classes is. Remember that Malik Willis draft. Remember that Kenny Pickett draft. This is my example to you guys that you should when you are trying to be a draft guru or you're trying to do your mock draft thing. Everybody got a big board. I got 5 draftable defensive backs on you don't got a big board, bro. All you do is you take the names that people know, you recycle them around, you shuffle them and put them on the board, and you say, this is my new mock draft 3.568 with a double cheeseburger on the side. Get up out of here, bro. You're not slick. So watch this. Where is the accountability? Because in one of the worst draft classes they in hindsight they talk about, which was the Malik Willis draft, which was the Matt Corral draft. Look who your boy had going in the first round. Look who your boy had. Look, let's just go ahead and throw this in here. This is wild.
Unique year. There are no quarterbacks in the top 10. How many do you have going in round 1 overall?
I've got 5 quarterbacks going, so it's going to be a unique year, and I think 3 are pretty much locked in. And the first quarterback I had coming off the board was to Pittsburgh at number 12, and that's
this is by multiple experts. This has been labeled one of the worst quarterback drafts in about 25 years. The man comes out and says he had a first round grade on Kenny Pickett. That ain't the problem. He had a first round pick on Matt Corral, bogus. A first round pick on Malik Willis, bogus. He has a Desmond Ridder first round grade and a Sam Howell grade. What? So mind my manners. I'm sorry. Mind what I'm talking about when I say, if you got evaluations on these guys, you are out of pocket when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders ain't better than Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Matt Corral. This is what I'm telling y'all. And no one brings these receipts to the table, and you keep letting them do mock drafts, and you keep letting them tell you, ain't nobody in this draft, ain't nobody there. Trust me, it's a consensus. No, it's people you don't like isn't there. This is damning. Let's keep it rolling.
Pitt quarterback Kenny Pickett, who reminds me a lot of Mac Jones in terms of his final season, such great pocket presence, fast processor, and very accurate throwing the football. Doesn't have the mobility of some of these other guys. And then just after that at 13, I had Washington taking Matt Corral from Ole Miss, who's had a tremendous last couple of years under Lane Kiffin in that offensive system. Gets the ball out in a flash, can extend, make plays. He's tough, he's mobile, but he's undersized, and there's some durability concerns long term. And then the third quarterback is Malik Willis, going to Denver a few picks later at number 17 overall. They're in a division with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. They need to bring in a playmaker. Willis is still a little bit mechanical as a passer, but he is a dynamic athlete who I think will continue to develop. The fourth quarterback is Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati, and this guy's just a winner. He's got a big arm, he's got some mobility. His accuracy can be up and down at times, but you can work on that and improve upon that. But I think Ridder would be, for the Saints and Sean Payton, a great landing spot if they decide to move on from their current quarterback situation. And then finally, I had Sam Howell going to the Lions at number 25 overall. The second I picked number 1 overall, you mentioned. Take Aiden Hutchinson, I believe, from Michigan. And then Howell, the quarterback from North Carolina, might be the most physically gifted quarterback, but the performance and play has been up and down. You lost 4 players at running back and wide receiver to last year's draft, and he just wasn't the same quarterback this past year with a lot of young.
There's some more to this. And you know what? I listen, I got disgusted, so I had to get rid of it. There's only so much I could take of it. I mean, you got Desmond Ridder ranked higher than Shedeur Sanders. If you have a second round grade on Shedeur Sanders, I am showing you what your criteria just was. And you like Sam Howell and Matt Corral, who's on the street by now. We know who Kenny Pickett is. He's a backup, at best, third string right now on our squad. Malik Willis, backup all day. But you trying to tell me that, notice, where's all that extra secret Big Mac sauce that you had earlier? Where that secret sauce with the Big Mac? Where you was talking about what you know and don't you know, and what did Coach Prime say in October and all that. Bro, just say you don't like Prime. Just say it. Just say Shedeur rubs you a wrong way because he got that NIL bag. Just say that he got a lot of money and he been had a lot of money. Because here's the thing, you can't say that because you have no problem with the Mannings saying it. You have no problem with the Mannings making moves to where they want to go. See, you know what, G. Bush? This is why you ain't got no regular show. It's good when the Mannings do it. Prime, do it, stay in your place. And by the way, Prime, and they can't discount him. You mad because he played baseball and he played football? And if you want to say when it comes to who's a better player, Eli and Peyton Manning got to take a back seat. You don't like that? You don't. But I'm just giving you the receipts. Don't kill the messenger. Don't do it. Now this one, we got one of them. We're working to a culmination here. 957 people is watching wherever you guys at. Hit the like button for your boy. Hit the share button because this is all facts. When we come back, we write to y'all. I only got one topic today. I want to find out what you think. Let me know. Super chat available right now. Please let me know if you see the bias. Because I want to come get right to the smoke. The bias is alive and well. Now let me show you this. Here's the lie that they tell you. This is the lie that they tell you. Well, G. Bush, it ain't about Shedeur. Ain't about none of that. What this is about is the specific class. If there was a consensus guy there available, we wouldn't have a problem with it. But let me just tell you something. They think that the internet is not alive and well, but it is. Oh, yeah, we be finding stuff. So I've been saying this for about 2 months now, 3 months. People want to act like Jayden Daniels. People want to act like Jayden Daniels was the consensus. He's been nice. We were all on board with Jayden Daniels. Liars. Fat liars. You're lying. I was there. Everybody was talking about, oh, he slide a frame. I don't know if he could play in that type of game in this offense. He runs around too much. He be doing X, Y, and Z. Now watch this. This proves they just be out here picking and choosing. I like you. I don't like you. I like you. Because at the end of the day, you get these people on the phones and to ask them, what the hell were you thinking when you said Jayden Daniels wasn't nice? Well, I got the receipts for you. Don't worry about it. I'll do it for you. Look at these no-name gangsters. Let's watch this. The narrative about Jayden Daniels wasn't there. They missed on this one too. And they used some of the same narratives, weaving them in and out. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. Let's keep it moving.
Completely different coaching staff. Only this time, it was under the guidance of a completely different coaching staff. And one of the biggest question marks, and even to this day that I still think hasn't been answered, is whether Jayden Daniels was the one elevating the players around him and not the other way around. And look, before you jump in the comment section and don't really listen to me, just hear me out. We saw this prime example with Brandon Ayuk in his freshman year at Arizona State. And once Ayuk did leave Arizona State, we never saw that same type of substance out of Jayden Daniels until he was paired with first-round caliber players again at LSU. In 2023, both Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. played lights out football, and both were drafted in the first round as a result. And if you weren't counting, that's 3 first-round caliber wide receivers that were picking up the play of their quarterback.
The evaluation of him, I've never seen such a wide breadth of opinions on a quarterback that's this high in the draft before.
Okay, liars. People running around here talking about it was a consensus on Jayden Daniels. We all were behind Jayden Daniels. We knew what we saw here. This isn't the case. This just simply isn't. Shut your mouth. You be lying. It's right here. It's right here. We over 1,000. It's right here. You tell me if I'm wrong. They let these dudes get these microphones. But no, the receipts are here. Bring it back.
Is high in the draft before. So some people say he's the best in the draft. Or I guess it's really just Dan Orlovsky's the only person who's saying that. Yeah. And then there's some people who say he's like, I think Nate Tice says he's 19 and out of all the players. And you have the harshest evaluation of Jayden Daniels.
And that is one of the prime and potential reasons that Jayden Daniels is not an NFL caliber quarterback.
But the problem is, you'll see this kid in 4 years on some CBS, Fox 1, ESPN. He'll be an insider. And this same kid shooting these videos in his back room is going to be trying to tell you why the next quarterback ain't no good. The receipts is on fire. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what you say. I'm cooking. Bring me my apron. The receipts is here. So next time when you at that water cooler and they try to keep telling you about how this draft class ain't it and this ain't it and why they ain't it, you tell them, come on, man. You've been had. Go watch one of G. Bush's videos. He'll tell you exactly why you're capping. I mean, this is the figure 4 leg lock. I mean, this if you can't come away from this with at least a little inkling of, damn, this the way the game work. This some nasty work. If you can't come away from this, then you might just be biased. You might listen. Ain't no problem. Just go ahead and admit to it. It's meant to. And we coming back to our last video. We got the last one. We're gonna get to it. I just like that this guy, he says the part out loud. See, all of that, I don't know what it is about him. It's just Shedeur. I don't know. It's just it's a thing. That's not something that's just for Shedeur. Again, they said this about Jayden Daniels. Rookie of the year, Jayden Daniels. Going on the road to beat the Lions in the playoffs, Jayden Daniels. Making it look like he's the best quarterback since whenever, Jayden Daniels. This is what they had to say about him. And notice, it don't be about his skill level. It don't be about whether or not, he can throw the football. It don't be about if he's a good kid, whether his mom makes sure he's on the straight and narrow. The dude is a genius. He walks the walk. The dude talks the talk. He's a natural born leader. It ain't about none of that. So when they flip it to leadership, liar. When they talk about all the other things and why they don't like it, it comes down to who you identify with. And this guy, he just does a great job of saying that part out loud.
Well, that I think was the best throw from Jayden Daniels. It was early in the, or I think maybe late in the second quarter. A brilliant ball down the right sideline that was a great throw and a maybe even better catch, where Neighbors got 1 foot in bounds, and it was like elite throw, elite catch. Both those guys, first round talent, send them to the NFL. They're playing on Sundays.
Watch what comes next. I'm trying to figure out what's the deal. So why you mad? Elite throw, elite catch, brilliant, beautiful, first round, send them to the NFL. Watch how this slowly but surely devolves into this man being in his feelings and telling you what he about.
Tremendous. The rest of it, I don't want Jayden Daniels. Which, notice I am saying that intentionally, which I'm not saying he sucks.
This is what we deal with, people. Thank you, my good sir, because you're doing the job that Todd McShay should do. You're doing it for him. See, Todd got a little more to lose than you do. I don't know who you are. Shout out to Felger and Maz, whatever they are. See, McShay got a little more to lose. Like, he can't just come out and be like, yeah, I just don't want him. You, my good sir, you just say that part out loud. And I like people like that, because when you say it out loud, I know what the respect from you. I love this. And watch how he gets into his feelings. Watch how he start moving. Let me run that back for you. I ain't gonna talk over it. Here we go.
I don't want Jayden Daniels. Which, notice I am saying that intentionally. Which I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying that I wouldn't take him, but I don't want him. It's just too run dependent, Maz. It's just he's too his running is too integral to what he does.
Stylistically, it's not your preference, is what it is.
Which I just haven't seen it. I just haven't seen it win at a high level in the NFL yet. And I say consistently win at a consistently high level. And which isn't to say I wouldn't take it. Like, I'm not an idiot. I always say this about Lamar Jackson. Of course I would take him. Of course I would take Lamar Jackson over Jared Goff. I would take him over an average quarterback. But I wouldn't start there. I wouldn't want
Just an average quarterback? Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP of this league. What are you talking about? Do they give microphones out to just people that just want to do it? What is he talking about? And I'm showing you, when people say people don't got an old school way of thinking about anything, you're lying to yourself, bro. This is the reason every single year there's a problem with Kyler Murray. There's a problem with Lamar Jackson. There's a problem with CJ Stroud not going to the Manning camp. There's a problem with Donovan McNabb. There's a problem with RG3. It's a problem every year. And it was a problem with one of the most talented rookies of all time. And this guy says, I just don't want him.
Lamar Jackson, just like I don't want Jayden Daniels. And let me just say first, Jayden Daniels can throw. And that's why I started with that throw. He made some great throws.
So throwing is not the problem. You know he can throw, but you still don't want him.
In that game. That sideline ball to Neighbors was tremendous. My favorite throw was on a touchdown pass over the middle, in which he just sort of drilled it over the middle of the field, and his receiver, it wasn't Neighbors, spun and ran the final 9 yards in. But it was kind of a tight window throw. He had to sort of hang in there. He threw it over the middle. He put pace on it into a little window. It was a great throw. The receiver did the rest, and it was like, okay, like he
goes to show you the results don't matter. See, people, I told you before, people would rather lose with people that they like or can identify with rather than winning at the highest level. This man is sitting here, he has notes written down about the time and places that Jayden Daniels made huge throws, big-time throws, in traffic, short windows, on the sideline. But his cognitive dissonance won't allow him to accept it. His inner turmoil won't allow him to look at this guy and say, man, this dude is talented as heck. Let's figure out a way that this guy can win football games at the highest level. Let's figure out the way to put a team around this man. This young man is special. No, he comes away saying, I just don't know what it is about him, but I just don't like it. This is wild work. Wild. Y'all should have never gave me the internet.
Can throw. And there's some inaccuracy there, but it's not that he can't throw. It's just that it felt like every scoring drive, he had some sort of big run that was central to them scoring. It's like he ran.
Now there's a problem because he's getting big runs? Oh, my God. I keep snatching my headphones out. Let me put this back. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm sorry. Sorry. Now it's a problem because he's making big plays with his legs? And they're scoring? See, in this world, they gaslight you. Good is bad and bad is good. Elimination is good, and we're not adding. Adding is bad. Everything is 1985. If you read the novel, you know. How is it bad to do to throw and run? And he's doing it at a high level. This guy, you can't make this up.
In this game, this freaking game, he ran 11 times for 163 yards and a touchdown. And it would have been more, but one came back on a clip. So, if you include that yards, he was almost close to 200 yards rushing and a touchdown. And what was awful is that the other kid, the Jalen Milroe, the quarterback for Alabama, was just as bad. Milroe ran 20 times for 155 yards and 4 touchdowns.
There it is. We ain't got to say it to say it. My good man, you just got a problem with black quarterbacks. Let's just call it what it is. You've given me enough information. I feel comfortable coming out with that. He says, and the other kid was just as bad. Why? He ran for 11 times and almost 200 yards too. Can you imagine they're sullying the way the quarterback position is played? This is wild work. Listen, this is wild. This is irrefutable. And so what I'm showing you this is, do everybody think about this and think like this? No. Are there a lot of people that think like this? Hell yeah. And he's just the person to say it. So when people doing these mental gymnastics about why they don't want so-and-so, why they don't want this person, why they don't want that person, remember this video I played you. And it's an exact representation of why there are these narratives that continue to happen every single year, and it does not matter who it is applied to. This conversation he had, it could be Kyler Murray. This conversation right here could be Mike Vick. This conversation is Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Cam Newton. What are we talking about? This is the same thing we're talking about.
So I'm watching this game. I'm like, this is like one of these bad touch football games in my backyard where after the 5 Mississippi rush, you allow the quarterback to run.
Yeah.
And it's the quarterback running all over the place. Like, I'm not here to have jackass here run around with the football. Like, we're playing catch, throw the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
I hate those games. So this whole game was just the quarterback tucking and running. Boring.
Let me get this up off here. I know it was not my role to trigger you today on this great Saturday morning, but it is what it is. This is why I got to bring the receipts. As you can see, boys and girls, and he said jackass. This man was visibly upset at the fact that he had to sit here and watch these jackasses run around. Boring. This is why, listen, this is what they're telling you. Thank you, my good sir. You just said it out loud. I don't have to say it, because if I would have just said it, G. Bush, you're baiting. G. Bush, you're playing these games again. In conclusion, before we get to the comment section, this is why I don't do mainstream media. I'm not good at mainstream media. You know why? Because I don't care nothing about these dudes pushing these narratives. I don't care nothing about none of that. I care about the fact that, listen, if you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. And when you're watching this stuff, take it with a grain of salt. Do your own homework. But at the same time, ask yourself, why is these people saying this all the time? Now, does this seem like there's a difference between Shedeur Sanders and Jayden Daniels? There isn't. They tell you it's a difference, but you still got people that was hating on Jayden Daniels last year. And you saw what Jayden Daniels did. I shown you people hating on Patrick Mahomes. You saw what he done. But yet and still, Zach Wilson, he gets credit for being mobile. Daniel Jones gets credit for being mobile in 6'5". Let's get to these. Man, boy, let me get to him. I got y'all. This might be too rough for a lot of people. This might be too tough for a lot of suckers out here this morning. Let's get to it. Where the real ones at? Hold on. Hey, man. Joseph Dulay, we appreciate your super chat, man. We definitely appreciate you, man. Big Black. Thanks for keeping it 100 and calling it what it is. Only the way you can do. The receipts is here, people. I wasn't even gonna come out of a new day until I heard what they was talking about with this pro day. I said unacceptable. Y'all running around here trying to nitpick that. What? Stop. We are not allowed to do certain things because we should be happy and stay in our place. Baker was a leader and Shedeur Sanders is arrogant. Go figure. The hypocrisy is utterly disturbing and is getting old. Pete Rothstein has been old. It's been old. I mean, that's why when people be coming up with it, when people be talking that talk, I don't play no games with them, bro. I'm not going to shuck and jive. That dude, the dude that was on his show talking about, and the worst part about it is, he should be, I had to watch these guys in my backyard like I'd have had to be like, respectfully, what are you talking about? Respectfully, what are you talking about? This is why I'm going to tell you this too. Y'all might not like it, but I'm going to say what I want to say. This is why representation on platforms matters. You got people that are out of touch, don't know what the culture is about, don't know the game, don't know football, ain't never played football, ain't never coached it, ain't never been around it, ain't never lifted no weights, ain't never ran those suicide drills over and over till you gave it up. Don't know no brothers, don't want to know no brothers. But yet and still, how do you get a platform to talk about something you have no clue about? Zero, no pushback. And this is why I got a problem, because when I go around, I'm looking around, I'm like, bro, you got to have context to this stuff. But I'm still having conversations about why Myles Garrett ain't no leader. If you don't stop all that, what you mean? Come on now. We kicking it. This might be too hot for some people, man. Let's talk about it. Get down to these comments. What's up? Let me see. I want to get to the real deal. McLoathing, using a top pick on a noodle arm is a reach. Carter isn't a generational talent. Carter isn't a generational talent. He has no power moves, gets put on the ground by tackles, and will go undrafted. I don't even know who that. Nah, you ain't got no icon, bro. I got to go. Here you go. Here go McShazy at again with them theories. That boy, he Einstein when it come to them theories, Lawrence. Einstein. Hey, by the way, page 78. I seen scout ratings. Bo Nix was 86 and Sanders was a 90. But Bo Nix went in the first round. J.J. McCarthy threw like 4 passes at Michigan. They lined up in goal line and ran the ball 97 times with Harbaugh. But yet still he could go to the top 10. Bo Nix is a top. Come on. Mike Penix is top. Penix first round. Mind you, Todd McShay loves Zach Wilson. He's a backup on the streets. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. You can't make this up. You can't make this stuff up, people. Let me see. Hey, Joseph Potter, I like that. I like that energy. When my sources are public, I reveal them on air. When they want to stay anonymous, I don't. When it's in my opinion, I say it's my opinion because I've coached, played, and broken down the tape for 20 years. I respect that. I respect that. These little theories these dudes be having draft time. And my thing is this. Why is there no, like, won't somebody say, like, how do you have Matt Corral and Desmond Ridder first round talent, Malik Willis? But you still get to keep coming on air saying how you feel. Like, you missed on the whole 2022 draft, the whole quarterback room. That's wild to me. Peyton Manning reference. Man, they on a masseuse, but here we are. This is why y'all be trying to get me demonetized, man. Shout out to you, bro. Remember, G. Bush, they said the same thing about Steve McNair and how that turned out for him in his NFL career. Listen, man, I just, my goal for this today is what I want to do is I want to have people think critically about what's going on. And it's not about, anytime you do these type videos, people will say, oh, you're a fanboy of whoever you're talking about. You're a fanboy of Shedeur. You just want them to reach. No, I don't. All I want to do is get the coverage to be correct. All I want to do is have the draft process actually mean something, because there's so many narratives, so many smoke screens, so much cap going on. You have to see. And my problem is I want to keep it consistent throughout and throughout. When you had all of them garbage quarterbacks and they was getting credit for all of the same thing that Shedeur Sanders did. Hey, you telling me that Shedeur Sanders listen, what are you talking about? He had the same thing as Daniel Jones, playing in a bad team. He played at the HBCU, which is a worse team than everybody. But yet and still, we use innuendos. We use roundabout stuff. We use little things that we heard to dismiss people instead of calling what it is. I respected the last dude. The last dude this dude was out of pocket. But you know why I could mess with him? Because I know where he stands. I know you one of them. I know it. I can stay away from you, bro. His football conversation, his football comments go right over my head now. Now I know I can disregard what you're saying because you're ignorant, right? But some of these people be masquerading as people that is wise, football people that's measured and actually watches the tape and does these things, and they don't. All of them is running around here. And let me give you this. I'm going to give y'all the game. I'm going to give you the game. Let me take a sip of this real quick, and then we're going to get back to it. Let me tell you this. Here's what the game is now. They ain't going to tell you this, but they are. In this industry, the dudes that's really getting the bag, the dudes that's really winning in the media is the guys that's on YouTube. Prior to me doing this, or prior to not just me, but a lot of other people, YouTube was a place. Take this down real quick. YouTube was a place where you had to go because the gatekeepers wouldn't let you in. It's the same 5, 6 hosts on the radio. It's the same 5 or 6 dudes on the news. Same 4 or 5 dudes saying the same old stuff, towing the same line. So what happened when the internet came around, 2010, 2011, 2012, by 2013, YouTube started opening up and people started to realize that was an opportunity for you to create a fan base and get your own platform off. And so what happened is, a lot of the people in the mainstream media, they won't tell you this now, but the great part about it is I done both. I started off answering phones. I started off answering phones for people. Fax, driving hours just to hook up boards, just like a free intern. I started that in 2010. So my thing is, there's a lot of people that's in that industry that look down on internet people. They look down on people that do stuff on the website, the internet. They say, oh, you're doing that little internet stuff. Well, rapidly what happened is you start to have the boom of the ESPN, the Foxes. Pretty soon what start happening in those spaces is they started to realize that the return on investment wasn't there. They started laying guys off, big name guys, right? Those big name guys start laying off. They start giving the big bags to the Pat McAfees, the Jim Romes, the Skip Baylesses of the world. Those guys was getting the big bucks. All the regular dudes out of here. So then, what did they happen during the pandemic? Guys had to figure out a way to sustain. Had to figure out a way to make a living or to get their voice out there. So them same dudes that was hating on everybody that's on the internet is now on the internet, being like, okay, well, let me invade this space. But here's the problem. They don't realize that the internet ain't for everybody. They got to realize y'all was doing scripted stuff. On this internet, this the wild, wild west. What works on ESPN don't work on the internet. What work at Fox don't work on the internet. It's 2 different platforms, 2 different, thought process of people and the way things work and what hits. So a lot of them dudes after the pandemic, they never went back to work. They stayed at the crib and they continued to do what they wanted to do, right? But this is where it hurt them. So those guys took a little bit of time, the traditional format guys that are doing content on the internet, it took a little bit of time to get ramped up and understand where it was going. Here's what hurt them. So that means you're not as good as the people that's been doing it on YouTube because they got the format. And guess what happens? The players start coming around. The players start having their own podcasts. All the Smokes, the Cam Newtons, the Gilbert Arenases, the Steven Jacksons, all these dudes started getting in that lane. The Players Tribune, they started realizing that, look, for so many years, Muhammad Ali was talking to Howard Cosell. For so many years, it was John Madden was the voice. Michaels, whatever case you want to be, Al Michaels. These were the pillars, and these were the guys in the industry. Then again, the NBA, NFL, all these players, they started to realize, why we got to do interviews with them? Why would we do interviews with those guys? We could just interview ourselves, and then we can curse. We are not going to ask about crazy stuff because we know each other. We're gonna take control of our own voice, and we're gonna come on each other's platforms and talk our talk. We already got the capital, we got the money. All we got to do is get the equipment, a board, and a producer, and we can have somebody post it on the internet. So there you have now the traditional people, the gatekeepers, the people that was The same 5 or 6 people saying the same 5, 6, 7 narratives, right? Those people are now on the outs because now they can't compete against the people that's on the internet. They also can't get the validation from saying, I interviewed somebody really big. I interviewed Jordan. I interviewed Magic. They're not interviewing no more. They're going on their own podcast interviewing each other. So that avenue is closed. So now you're in third place. You're not getting the interviews. You don't really get as many views as these huge YouTube channels and conglomerates. And you writers and paper and people, guys that are all these writers, you're obsolete. So here's what happens. You got to figure out an angle. I mean, you can get on the internet and still do that same old narrative conversation 1-2 step and report boring news and do whatever you're going to do. Or you could turn to the dark side. And the dark side do get you views. The dark side can get you in the algorithm. So now you come with strictly narrative business. It ain't about what somebody told you, because guess what? The athletes ain't telling you nothing. Agents ain't really either. So what you do is say, all right, well, I'm going to throw my opinion in here. I'm going to just throw my opinion. I'm going to just come out here and be inflammatory. I'm going to throw my opinion. I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to throw my opinion. I'm going to be walking around like I'm Stephen A. Smith. Like, you listen, bro, you're walking around on the court like you ain't played the thing. Like, you guys are you are not the draw. You're a guest. And they forgot they was guests. So now, this is the new game. If you want to be heard, if you want to be known, if you want to be seen, you better be edgy, controversial, triggering. You got to do all the above. I don't see no regular journalist or no regular writer transitioning into this game and getting no money if they do not turn and flip it on his head. And that's what you see in these comments. That's what you see on the internet. And you wonder why people say what they say. I'm giving you the reason. They ain't got no choice. If you want to keep eating, you better get on this internet and you better talk that talk. And as you can see, the difference is right in front of your face. But the problem is the fans and the community has not caught on to that. Y'all still thinking that they are fair dealers. You thinking they wouldn't just say that just to say it. Game been changed. They're not journalists anymore. They're not getting sources anymore. No one's talking to them anymore. So how do you continue to have the veil of I'm that dude without having any of the information? I knew. Watch this. Deshaun Watson don't do local interviews. Odell Beckham don't do local interviews. Myles Garrett don't do local interviews. How do you know what they're talking about and doing if you don't ever speak to them? You have no insight. The only reason you got insight to the quarterback is because the league mandates the quarterbacks has to talk, not defensive ends and these other players. See, this is why I'm giving away too much of the game. I'm sorry if y'all just giving the game away, man. But this is what you came for, right? Story time. Let's get to the super chats, man. Chantel Penton. G. Bush, who do you think the Browns will take at the second pick, Hunter, Carter, or Sanders? Thank you for transitioning me, Chantel, to where we're at today, because I wanted to get to this for you guys as well. So for me, how I look at it is I'm fully, I just don't know who the Browns are going to take. And for me, I look through this situation and I always talk about it. I look and I say, man, one day I'm like, I'd take Shedeur Sanders. But for the last week, I would probably say I'm leaning towards Travis Hunter. And it's very slim. My dream scenario is if they get Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. And it comes down to this. Jimmy Haslam came out and said that they're not going to rush the quarterback. They're not going to force it. They're going to let those guys do what they need to do. They're going to let get the quarterback organically. They're not going to force it. If he's the guy, they'll take him. If not, we'll keep him pushing and find something. For me, I always believe that the quarterback is the most important position. If they believe that Shedeur Sanders is that dude, and Kevin Stefanski can work with him, there's no way in any universe that you can take Abdul Carter. And as a matter of fact, I couldn't take Abdul Carter over Travis Hunter. And let me give you why I feel the way I do about Abdul Carter. First and foremost, I was looking up the other day. There's a doctor who we've had on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show who I've spoken to multiple occasions about Nick Chubb's injury and Deshaun Watson's injuries, right? He's very reputable. And he had a video out talking about what it is that Abdul Carter has in his foot. He has a stress fracture. I'm not sure what it is. It could be the Liz Frank one, which is in the middle of your foot, or it could be I think he called it a Jones fracture on the right-hand side of your foot on the outside. Now, traditionally, those take a very long time to heal. And the reason is because you don't have a lot of proper blood flow in that area. So you need to have blood flow in order to heal. And if it's on the outside of his foot, I think there's a Jones fracture. Usually that does not heal unless you have a screw inserted. So if you put the screw in, now at this point, it's looking like 11 or 12 weeks for recovery. Also, there's also another thing that happens along with that is usually they'll have to go back and have another surgery to remove the pin. So that adds a little more time to it. And if you don't have surgery, more than likely it will fracture over time. Right now it's considered a stress fracture where it's not completely fractured, but due to where it's at on the outside of his foot, due to his explosive nature, due to activity of football, it's a pretty much a guarantee he's going to crack at some point in time. So not to mention that he has a shoulder injury that he's been nursing. So here's my thought process on Abdul Carter, and I may be wrong. I don't like to speculate on it because I don't like taking nobody's draft status at all. So for me, my thought on Abdul Carter is this. I watched him play against SMU. He had an injury. I watched him play against Notre Dame. He didn't even know he was going to play with the shoulder against Notre Dame. When you are undersized, and he is not severely undersized, he's a little bit undersized at 250. He can put some weight on and get to 260. I don't even think that's a crazy problem. I don't want to make it seem like I'm hating on Abdul Carter because under normal circumstances, I would run up to the podium and take Abdul Carter. The problem is the shoulder and the foot. He didn't participate in this pro or the NFL or combine. I knew that. They found the stress fracture at the combine. He then, at his pro day, did not work out. Met with the Browns. They went out to dinner. My thought process is this. If I am Abdul Carter in his camp, there's no way I'm getting this man. He's not lifting a weight. He ain't running nowhere. He ain't doing no jumping jacks. That man is in bubble wrap until the season start. You know why? Their goal is to get him drafted as high as possible. He's going to go then start doing his workouts. He's probably going to complain of some discomfort in his foot, and they're going to look at it. The team doctors are going to err on the side of being cautious because he is a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pick, and they're going to get him that surgery. And so he probably knows today he's going to get surgery, and the team probably knows today he's going to have surgery. But the problem with that is I have no time with a 3-win team with the Cleveland Browns, with Myles Garrett already, and guys like Alex Wright and McGuire, and you still got Mike Hall Jr. I can't afford to sit out and wait half a year for Abdul Carter to get back. I can't do it, especially no quarterback, no running backs. You still need offensive talent. Stop it. So for me, and I wanted to give you your money's worth. For me, I'm going to go ahead and give me either Shedeur or Travis Hunter. And my goal is to, if I can snag both of them, if I can get both of them, if I take Travis Hunter and Shedeur falls to a certain spot, I trade back in the first round and get him too. Appreciate the super chat. Let's keep it pushing. P. Rothstein says, we don't need another pass rusher at 2. We need a quarterback. Every team that made the playoffs for the most part had a quarterback. Get my QB. Listen, if they got a guy there, I'm taking him. I just got to do it. I think today, and I was going to do this for another topic or whatever, but this is what it is. I think when the Browns actually left and went to, left and went to Baltimore, I think it did something to people. You ever catch one of your dudes and you see him, he used to be the man in high school? You like, man, this dude had all the Nautica, all the Peli Peli, all the Aniche, all of the Avrex jackets, bro. All of them. He had his Sean John gear was crazy. Rockaware dude had all the polo gear. I know a dude named, shout out, rest in peace, Terrence, man. This is one of my guys. Terrence had the most polo gear I've ever seen. This dude was spending thousands. I'm like, where do you work? He worked 2 jobs just to rock polo at all times. But you ever see one of them dudes and they was the man? You catch up to him about 20 years later. He gained about 15, 20 pounds. Shaggy around the face. He had waves. He balding now. Seeing him, he had all the Jordans. He got these Payless shoe joints on. And he walk up to you, scare you a little bit because you thought he was going to ask for some change. Oh, bro, you good? G. Bush, man, good to see you. You don't know who it is. You're like, who the heck is this zombie? You'd be like, oh, that's Antoine. What? What's up, man? What you been up to? And you'd be like, And you could tell he got stuck right there in high school. That man's mind, body, and soul is still in 1997. Still in 97, bro. I think a lot of people for the Cleveland Browns fan base is in that same way. Because what they do is you hear the same old stuff over and over again. Listen, it set a bad Microsoft update, a set point for us. So every time we talk about the Browns, it's a lot of trauma involved. And so every time we talk about them, our mind not only is disoriented, Microsoft updates itself and it goes back to the reset point, which is 95. And every time you talk to somebody, I just take a left tackle, gotta win up front. I just take a defensive end, a defensive tackle, G. Bush. Gotta win in the trenches. These folks' minds is a 95, 96. Don't nobody do that no more. Don't nobody waste high draft picks on these ends like that. You think the Texans should have drafted Jadeveon Clowney #1 overall? Come on, man. Myles Garrett is cold. Myles Garrett is super dope. But Myles Garrett won 3 games last year. He was a defensive player of the year. We had Joe Thomas. This man's a first ballot Hall of Famer, never sniffed the playoffs. We keep living in an era where we think that old school football and that old school mentality and them cliches is going to make you warm at night. That you're going to get blasted, bro. You're dead in the water. And every single time that we have a season, we go through the season, we get to the end of the season and say, man, I ain't never doing that again. We need a quarterback. But by the time the draft come around, by the time free agency come around, you done Microsoft reset yourself all the way back to a reset point in 1995 again. And you go back to the same old thing. G. Bush, we need a draft up front. Get something through the draft. Boy, stop. Stop. It don't work that way no more. You want 2 defensive ends to do what? Not score? You know how many games the Cleveland Browns have scored under 21 points? They 12 games last year. I think it was 12 or 13. It might have been 13. You only played 17 weeks. I digress. If you don't get a quarterback, we'll be talking about the same thing. And furthermore, give people something to look forward to, bro. Like, I'm not looking forward to watching no defensive ends run up the field and still get beat outside. You still got Martin Emerson. You still got linebacker Martin Emerson running out there. You still got G. New doing nothing. But you want to keep stocking the D line. Give me Travis Hunter so I can demote one of them dudes. That's another thing. Yeah, we getting Travis Hunter, and I want one of them gone. I tell them right now, hey, Mark Emerson, you look like you got safety in your future. You better learn how to make these calls. You better learn. Playing around with these dudes. P. Ross, Carter is giving me Courtney Brown vibes. He ain't even bigger than Courtney Brown. Courtney Brown was at least 275, 280. Ain't no moves. Ain't no moves. Listen, Abdul Carter is a nice player. I'm not hating. He's not Travis Hunter, though. He's just not. And here's my problem with this, too. It's almost like you done morphed it to a situation where now people trying to tell me Travis Hunter ain't good. That's where I check out. After that, I just check out. I say, I can't talk to y'all no more. When people start talking about what Travis Hunter is regular, I don't know. Like, oh, okay. Just like when your dudes try to tell you the moon landing was fake. You give him that side eye, like, yeah, dog. Yeah, man, I gotta go find my wife. I gotta, babe, you in aisle 6? Yeah, I gotta go, man. But good seeing you, bro. Running around here like Lil Jamar talk about the earth is flat. People hit me with the earth is flat. I gotta go. I got to go. I'm telling you, bro. You look out over that horizon. Why don't you see nothing? You fool. I gotta go. Sapper Daddy. I'm torn on this one. I want the Browns to take a quarterback. On the other end, we need game breakers. This team needs much help as they can get. Can't mess this up. Sapper Daddy, I'm with you. My dream scenario, and I'm gonna start building that momentum for it. I got to get both of them. I'm like Pokemon. I got to catch them all. I got to get both of these. I got to. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the fanfare? The excitement level. You want to tell me? Think about this. Make Sundays fun again. That campaign looks great. Campaign looks great. How would you love? I listen. I take Travis Hunter because I know he'll be the first to go. And if Shedeur Sanders falls anywhere after the Raiders, I am calling them up and I'm figuring out somehow to get back into that first round. And I'm going to take Shedeur Sanders. And by the way, don't let one of these running backs slip. If I come out with Shedeur Sanders, if I come out here with a Travis Hunter, and any one of these running backs, come on, man. I'll take Scatterboo at that position. What are you talking about? Don't let one of these Buckeye running backs fall too far in the second round. I'm ready to cook. Can you imagine? I'm ready to watch right now. This is box office. This is must see. When is the last time the Browns had something that it was, listen, I don't care if they lost every single game. If you telling me I get to watch Shedeur Sanders, Jerry Jeudy, and Travis Hunter, I'm locked in regardless. Locked in. Must see box office. Come on, man. I do everything in my power to get, I don't care who else they got. I got some picks. They got 35 picks. I do everything I can to get them to. They already got the chemistry. They already got the swag. They already understand what it is. Boy, if you listen to Andrew Berry, calling all Andrew Berry clones, get your laser eyes ready. Get the laser eyes ready for Andrew Berry because I'm going to tell you what, you grab both of them boys, I don't care nothing about no third or fourth round picks. Give me them two. We'll worry about that. We'll worry about the rest later. But we're going to figure that out. Let this man slide. I'm telling you. And if we don't even do it, if we can't get Shedeur, I'm going to get me another quarterback. We're going to jump back in that first round and get something. Right above the Steelers. Steelers, don't think about it. We jumping right ahead of you already. Already seen the blueprint. Y'all been killing the super chats. I appreciate y'all today, man. Having a good conversation, man. Hey, I know there are game breaks in the late rounds, but I don't trust A.B. Stefanski, these scouts, to find them. Every one team can find them. I don't know why we can't. That's why you can't pass on Travis Hunter. That's one of the reasons I've been leaning towards Hunter. I've been leaning towards it a little bit because of the game changers. I need one of those guys. I look around. Listen, the Cleveland Browns got to methodically work the ball upfield, running play action. You need somebody to run a home run with, too. You got to have a home run hitter, too. We out here cooking. Boy. Malone Michael, what's up, man? I see you with the 360s, bro. I see you, bro. Let me see. You've been wearing his do-rag. You've been wearing his cap at night, bro. I see you. I appreciate the super chat, my guy. When the Browns get back at 99, I was 23 years old. So most of my life prior to the Browns were really good. Now we can't draft. We can't evaluate talent. We sign bad free agents that come in and steal money. We need dogs. That's the part, P. Rothstein, that hits different. Is when you go back and you look at it and you start to look at some of the things that what they were doing in the past. The Browns were successful back then because they was tapped into what was trendy, what you needed to do back then, how you needed to move, the way you needed to move in the draft, the guys that you needed to look and what metrics did you see. Now it's a different ball game. They left, came back, and been behind the 8 ball ever since. No playmakers. Like, think about that. You've had one receiver and you didn't even have him. That's Josh Gordon. And you could, and he had character issues, so you couldn't even keep him on the field. But other than that, not one game breaker. You had one game breaker on defense, Myles Garrett, right? You had Chubb and some guys, but man, they ain't been drafting what, like, it's the blueprint, man. What are you gonna do? You have to get with the times. And if anything, I don't know what you'll take. I don't know if it's gonna be Watson. Excuse me, Watson. You see, I'm just crazy. I don't know if it's going to be Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter, but I'm confident if they get either one of them dudes, I'm ready to go because I need an offensive player. If you're an Abdul Carter guy, let me know. Let me know. We can talk about that. I get we like Hunter, but you have to go Sanders. I be flip-flopping. One day is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Next day is Cookie Crisp. I be just like them both. I be wanna, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy though. Man. Let me see. Relax, G. Bush. We know all that. Don't give them your energy. We're here for the real. That's you, not them bums. Hit that like button. I like that. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you guys, man. A lot of you listeners have no concepts of the NFL and what it all entails, G. Yeah, this way it goes down. Lot of people. Someone please tell me the percent of throws. We're beyond 5 yards. Please let me know. Weak arm. Okay, man. I keep going to this dude with no what's the name? He ain't got no icon. You should get an icon, fam. Oh, this was awesome. That's a great comeback right there. I like that, man. Can you tell me who's that? Is that Blink 182 in this picture? I ain't heard that in years. Let's see. Let's keep it going. G. Bush, that's why you're the best. You pull them receipts. Most media and fans hate Prime so much. Hey, I could respect you if you just say you don't like the guy. Well, look. Everybody ain't for everybody, right? They came out and said, listen, man, Shedeur Sanders, I think he has talent. Let's separate Shedeur from the whole aura. But I don't understand why you don't like Prime. You like Nick Saban. He in the same commercials, and he's more inflammatory than Prime. Say he won. Well, I mean, you like Dabo Sweeney, you like Jimbo Fisher. All these guys are like, come on, bro. You like Ryan Day. I mean, it is what it is. It's a preference thing, but don't act like it ain't a thing in there. It is. Let me see. Travis Hunter and Tyler Shuck at 3. 33. I guess that's what he's saying. You know what about this Shuck dude? It's one of them guys that come out of nowhere. It's one of those every single year. It's one of those guys that come out every single year to just pop up and they be like, oh, I like him. He's good. My problem is he's been hurt at 3 other places. Could he be good? Sure. Could he be a guy? Yeah. I think it comes down to, what they like, what they want to do. If they like him, I can't be mad at it. I'm just going to wait to see what they do with him and how it goes. Florida Browns fan. Oh my God. Thank you, G. Bush, for showing this stuff. People need to get reminded or to be shown if they never saw all this from the past drafts. Excellent job by you. Wake up, people. Don't say wait too long. Don't say wait too long. They might start saying woke. You know that. They turn it all the way around on you. But that's what I'm doing. Hey, listen, share this with people. And I'm willing to have a conversation with y'all about certain things. But this is wild to me. This stuff is out there. This stuff is available. And here's what you're not supposed to do. And I understand what it is. I am a what people would call a disruptor. It is not considered good etiquette within our industry to call people out about their previous opinions. The job is you don't do that because then that could shed a light on how people perceive them. You're not supposed to do that. You know how many conversations I done had with higher ups and executives that they're like, hey, I like your work, but you tone it down a little bit. Like, man, just, I know you coming, your fastball is hitting, but come on, man, we gotta kind of so you gotta wait that out a little bit, dog. Like, that's a big dog you going at. Bro, I don't care nothing about that at all. People say one of the things that I got into this industry about, there was 3 or 4, 5 or 6 different things I was mad about, and all of them has changed by then. My first one was how you not paying players. That's the first one years ago, before NIL, all that stuff. But my thing is, my major goal is to show you that the stuff that they are saying is nonsensical. All I ask you to do, don't even take my word for it. I'm fallible. I got my own opinion. I'm wrong sometimes. Don't even just take my word for it. Please do your research, do your due diligence, and come up with your own thought process. That's all I ask from you. Because the number one thing that I hated in this whole draft process is this thing where people just kept regurgitating. Why are you listening to these guys? Why? Because they told you there's nobody in this class, but you like Zach Wilson? There's nobody in this class, but you like Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett. These are the guys you like, and 5 are going the first round? You just sat here and told me Daniel Jones is going in the first round. So J.J. McCarthy handed the ball off 1,000 times and never threw over 12 yards. He went in the first round. Bo Nix is 35. He gets Social Security. He went in the first round. Michael Penix played 17 years in college. First round. Josh Rosen. He's washing cars right now. But all of these guys got first round grades. All of them. And they tell you weak draft class. And by the way, the rookie of the year that everybody has a consensus on, go back and watch what happens. Jayden Daniels, you weren't in consensus on Jayden Daniels. You didn't like him either. Guys, I got him 19 on my board. First of all, everybody ain't got no damn big board. You got no board. Oh, man. You guys, man. We're going to wrap this up here in a minute. You guys have been great, man. I appreciate the heck out of you guys, man. We're just having a conversation. All right, we did that one. Okay. 3G, what's up? What's up, cuz? Take Shedeur, get his guys, Jimmy Horn, LeJohntay Wester. I like both of them guys. I like both of them. Jimmy Horn gonna be a sneaky guy. Jimmy Horn is sneaky. Very, very sneaky. He's a sneaky pick coming up. Yeah. Let me see what we got. Let me get one or two. Let's get a couple in here. That was crazy though, too. These is talking about, hey, Mike McFly. This cat. Hey, Lawrence. I ain't never heard that in my I ain't never heard that in my life, G. This man, if you guys are coming around early, go ahead and rewind what I said. This man said that he's gonna grow into his arm. He just made up a stat and evaluation for your boy Daniel Jones. I mean, he has an average arm, but he's gonna grow into it. It's like you done took your kid to the doctor. Hey, little Tiger has he has some big paws on him. He's gonna grow into something big, huh? This man is 25 years old. Talking about he's gonna grow, his arm gonna get better. What are they talking about? Oh, it's just love this. I love it. Oh man, let's get a couple more in here, and before we get up out of here, man, we appreciate everybody who tuned in to the show today on a Saturday, talking that talk. No days off. One of the best names on YouTube. Josh Rosen is selling hot tubs on the West Coast. I've said this too. I think there's a contingent of people around the league who don't want someone like Shedeur Sanders to go to the Browns, because that means the Browns would be on TV a lot. It's all about the hate. A lot of people don't recognize that, because you know what, Stephen, and that's a very good point by you. Because why is it that it's a reach for the Browns at 2, but yet and still it's a home run if he falls to 3 to the Giants? Let that sink in. Let that sink in real quick. One spot. At 2, he's a reach for the Browns. At 3, it's a home run for the Giants. This is, you can't make it up. If you get Shedeur Sanders, and that's a lot of part of what the Cleveland fan base needs to understand. A lot of what the national media tells you is the national bias that comes along with it. You don't think that if Shedeur Sanders goes to the Giants, they on every Monday night. Every Monday night in the Big Apple. They on Thursday night, Monday night, Apple, Amazon, Yahoo, whatever it is. They're on every night. They be trying to get guys to move. They love LeBron in LA. They love LeBron in Miami. Not so much in Cleveland. Not so much at all. That's what you got to get. Like, a lot of the stuff they be saying, they don't be actually just being like, oh, he's not good. No, he's not good for them. Guess where they would love him at? Las Vegas. Great storyline with him and Tom Brady. Great storyline. Disdained rogue. I hate these Colorado fans jumping in Browns chats now. Kick rocks. None of you have ever watched football in your life except for the last 3 years. Well, that would be correct, except for the fact that I'm on the chat. And I've watched football for 96 years. And I'm not a Colorado fan. You know who I'm a fan of? You see who I'm a fan of? MAC champions, baby. Ohio Bobcats. This is how you know I ain't biased. You can't catch me. I watch Ohio State. I have to. I watch college football. I'm a football fan. But I root for one team, the Bobcats. I root for one team in high school, Canton McKinley Bulldogs. I root for one team in the pros, and that's the Browns, and I'm solid. So you know you ain't catch me. Listen, I like Colorado. Listen, it's a good story. I like good players. I like watching them. They're entertaining. But don't you get it twisted. I'll represent one and only. Oh, man. All right. Let's see. Let's get a couple more here. Damian. Absolutely. Browns fans are so out of touch. They're 40 years behind the modern NFL mentality. If Burrow and Daniels were available, they say no. Hold on. I don't know what this is. Round of applause for you, Damian. Round of applause. We would have never even got Chase. You know why? Because they drafted T. Higgins first, right? They would have been like, no. We already have a top 3 pick. We have Joe Burrow. We need to protect Joe Burrow. We already got T. Higgins. We don't need another receiver. We're going to pass on Jamar Chase. Give me Penei Sewell. You'd have drafted Penei Sewell. He's a good player. He ain't Jamar Chase. You see what it is. We need 2 of them things. That's like y'all so out of touch. Y'all probably got 1 car in y'all's family. Ain't nobody still running with no 1-car family. Bro, you need 2 whips immediately. You cannot get around here with 1 car these days. You can't be playing that drop-off game. You know, yeah, listen, as a grown man, you know what's one of the most disrespectful feelings ever? Is you get dropped off somewhere. Even though you know, like, I mean, it's what we got to do right now. My fellas, I'm just talking my talk right now on a Saturday. It's the barbershop. Bear with me. You can't be getting dropped off by your girl, bro. It hurts your feelings. You feel naked. You feel like you reach for the keys, they're not there. You know, if anything happens, you're the last one in the building. You know, if any emergencies happen, you just got to get the keys and you just got to walk down the street and hope nobody see you. You can't go to lunch. You can't get in the car and just drive and get you a sandwich. You got to be hungry the whole day. You got to pack lunch. It's naked. You're just naked if you don't got the keys, man. Don't do that, bro. I know some of you got to. I've been there. But walking around with 1 vehicle and you trying to coordinate, I got to drop the kids off at practice. I'm going to leave here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab something to eat. But then I got to come back. My wife want me to cook something. And she want me to put something out. And I'm like, I don't even know as a man. Why we got to put stuff out? Why don't you? Yeah. Hey, could you put some? Hey, could you put that ground beef out so it can thaw? I'm like, you know good and well. You get off at 5 o'clock. What you talking about? You called me at 4:30. Talk about put it out. You think it's gonna be thawed by then? And what if I'm hungry now? I need to quit. Pat Bateman. Let's see what you got to say. Sorry, dude, give me real receipts. If you want to be taken legitimately, first of all, I'm not asking you to take me legitimately, no way. You don't count. Hold on. I didn't mean to say that. Let's start over. We got off on the wrong foot. Give me real receipts. If you want to be taken legitimately, then you can't pick and choose receipts. What about all these analysts that aren't white guys but say the same thing about Sanders? Here's what I'm saying to you. You missed the entire point. What did you see the Jayden Daniels part, right? See, you missed the forest for the trees. This is what happens when you isolate things. You isolated on Shedeur Sanders, and you said it's about Shedeur Sanders. The point that I'm making to you and everybody else is that there are biases that people take into these processes, and it clouds their judgment when it comes to evaluating people correctly. Case in point, Jayden Daniels, everybody knows, is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We see what it is. But yet and still, prior to the draft, people just come out and say, I don't want him. Why? Well, he can throw. Yeah, I know he can throw. He can run. I know he can run. I just don't want him. What else? What else you want? Then he went on and said, and Jalen Milroe, the other kid was even worse. I don't want none of them. I said, wow, this is wild. Again, you have to think about it. Pat, I don't know what real receipts are. You can have a great, think about this. You can say in a critique, right, that Shedeur Sanders, I don't think he throws the ball with enough zip in his intermediate routes. I don't think that he throws the deep out and the ball hangs a little bit. I think he has a trouble looking in the pocket and checking it down instead of looking for the big play. I think sometimes he runs into sacks a little bit because he doesn't understand and doesn't feel the pressure. I don't like the fact that Shedeur Sanders, when it comes to just throwing the ball and getting rid of the ball, I want him to be on time more. Or in the goal line, I think that there's some things that he can do a little bit better about staring down receivers. You see what I'm talking about? These are all things in his game that we can get to, right? These are all things in the game that anybody can have a critique about. There's no problem with that. That's what the game of football really is. Here's your problem. They're doing that with everybody else. But you notice they didn't do this. Well, there's a situation with, I talked to these two guys and they just said kind of not really, hold on. You shouldn't even, you know what? You shouldn't even give this much time. Here we go. Here's we gonna get to these receipts. Now notice what I did.
Like, what do you think on this guy? I'm struggling with this guy. Have you heard of this thing about the character? And then they just start going from there. And then usually the questions I get back, what are you hearing? What are you hearing at 3? What are you hearing at 2? I'm hearing this. And then, I'm hearing this. And so it's just, they're organic conversations. But the thing that always happens during these conversations is that you apply football logic to things.
Okay, give me the football logic about it.
And the conversations I'm having continue to surround this subject. You got a certain grade on Travis Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a certain grade on Abdul Carter. That certain grade, just by everyone's account, even when Tennessee came out in the beginning, we said 4 guys, the position, 2 position players that were mentioned in there were Abdul and Travis. You read everything, you hear all the quotes. It's Travis and Abdul and Travis. Well, if Cam Ward goes number 1 and you're sitting there 2 and 3 and you have a quarterback need, you better have a damn high grade on Shedeur, or else football logic tells you just take one of these blue players.
Okay, that's what football logic say. I just need to get to the. Let me get to the football logic. I need to get to the football logic. This is what you want. The football logic. Okay, this is
quarterbacks in the top 10. How many do you have going in round 1 overall?
I've got 5 quarterbacks going, so it's going to be a unique year, and I think 3 are pretty much locked in. And the first quarterback I had coming off the board was to Pittsburgh at number.
Pat, I don't know what receipts you want here. I don't know what receipts you want here. Kenny Pickett is trash. Matt Corral is trash. Malik Williams is not good. Desmond Ritter's out the league. Sam Howell's not good. I'm just asking, is Shedeur Sanders better than all these guys? The answer is unequivocally yes. These guys in this draft class got 5 first-round grades. 5. He goes on to articulate why. But yet and still, when you articulate why Shedeur Sanders is not in the top half of the draft or in the first round, you tell me it's because, well, remember what Prime said? He said that in October, he wasn't going to let his kid play for anybody else, and I don't like that. J.J. McCarthy, thank you. J.J. McCarthy threw 4 passes a game. All right, I'm done with that. I just had to prove one. I'm about to get up off here. You guys been great today. Last one, Floyd Hart. You're right, G. Bush. I got a super chat in here. We're going to get to a couple super chats. We'll make sure that's done. You're right, G. Bush. You had some clown on here that threw out some obscure black QB that played for a minute in the 50s. So that means they are allowed blacks as a whole to play quarterback. People still be having problems with it. It is what it is, man. Like, and we're not saying that they don't like everybody. This is a rampant epidemic, but like literally, like you can't give me an excuse or a reason. You can't. Hey, Also, also, G, can you explain why Will Howard is not rated higher? What about him? Keep him in the late second round or third round picks. Listen, I think people don't think that Will Howard has a cannon for arm. I thought he did. I think he's looking around. I think he's a third or fourth round pick. I think Will Howard to go in the third. If somebody really likes him, I think he can go in the late second. But you got to think about it. That's crazy from where he came. That's crazy. Let me get to this. Let's get to this. R-Mac Dog. Here we go. G. Bush, the Browns need a quarterback, wide receiver, running back. So stop playing Operation Stockpile in the full effect. Let's take Hunter with the second pick. Take Sanders with the first round package and best available. Here we go. This is a new sound effect. Let's see. My man. I love it. I love it. That's the aggressiveness I like to see. And if you listen, do you understand? You get that. Let Quinshawn Junkins fall. Let Travion Henderson be anywhere near there. Where that kid from? I like that Harvey kid from UCFF. I like Amarian Hampton ain't gonna be there. I like the kid from Iowa. I like Giddens from Kansas State. There's backs everywhere. Give me one of those dudes. And can you imagine? That's box office, man. I'm ready to watch every single Browns game. And I know for a fact that every single person out there would love it. You would go to Brown Stadium. You would be ready for the pregame, postgame, and everything. Can you imagine talking about Travis Hunter playing both sides of the football? What packages Jim Schwartz going to use him? Him and Jerry Jeudy on the outside, Shedeur Sanders. Hey, and I don't even listen. And I'm still cool with getting a veteran quarterback because I don't want to see Kenny Pickett. Go ahead, give me what's the name. If we get Kirk Cousins, go ahead and let me get that off. That's what I want to see. And with that being said, man, I want to thank everybody for pulling up on me today. I like this show. I like it because we got a lot of conversation. I like talking to the people. I like giving y'all the opportunity to opine on the situation. Here, I'm going to throw a nice little pretty flag on this, a bow on it. I don't know who the Browns is taking. I flip-flop between a lot of guys. They've done a good job of smoke screening it. But here's one thing. At push come to shove, even if they do take Abdul Carter, I'm going to be like, oh, my gosh, we should have did X, Y, and Z. I know that the Browns, where they are situated at number 2, are going to get a good ball player. They're going to get a ball player. So we don't need to argue as a fan base. We don't need to be fighting back and forth. Somebody that they take, they're going to be one of the best people in this draft, and that is all that matters. But I think it could be a great day for the Browns. I think they could come out with a playmaker that we haven't seen in a long time. They could come out of here with the quarterback of the future. They could come out of here with another running back. You can bring back Nick Chubb. You can go get Kirk Cousins. You can do some different things. Hey, it's an excitement, and it's an excitement level around the team because we get infused with young talent. That's the thing. For better or worse, the whole Deshaun Watson thing and the whole Baker thing, we lost a lot of draft capital, a lot of draft picks, and we've been sitting on our hands trying to close gaps for the longest time. What we're getting the opportunity now to do is to be a participant in the NFL draft. We're going to get an opportunity to get some fresh blood in here, some new jerseys circle around, some number 12, some number 2s, some new Browns jerseys. The guys that's out here, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. All that taking these L's, and then the whole question we talking about the whole offseason is how's Deshaun going? If Deshaun throws for 400 yards, will we be good? Did Deshaun need to be elite? Listen, I'm ready to turn the page and talk about some new blood, some new guys in here, and we're going to get an opportunity with the number 2 pick and that 33 to do something big. There might be fireworks. We might come out there with both of them. That's where I'm pushing for. Okay, and if we come out there with both of them, you know where I'm going to be at. I'm going to be through the roof. Come on, man. You know what it is. But with that being said, If you want a fresh cut on sports and you want the real, you know where to tune in at. You already know. If you want that fake, you want them narratives, you want people just telling you, I'm going to prognosticate and what we got to do is. If you want that, you got to go somewhere else, bro. We give real cuts around here. And I appreciate the cuts that we giving out. With that being said, have a great rest of your weekend. And as always, even though they be messing up, they may take Abdul Carter and they be playing around a little bit with these free agents. Go Browns.